Hey everybody, thank you for joining me back on Oz Bodybuilding podcast. I'm here joined today with Josh Harcombe. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
And so funnily enough, something that I want to share with you that you may actually not know is that I remember, so when I first started training, my first ever gym was at Good Life Rabina, where you're PTing at. And this is when
Oh, no way.
Zach was at his prime, before he'd lost all
Yeah.
his weight, had the kid and met his wife and that. And I remember seeing you and him and you're like a real tall, I'm tall and lanky, but you're definitely way taller than me. And just to see how far you've come and that, you've done your first competition and that. And I just want to say first up, man, big props to you. I haven't even competed yet. I feel like I'm not big enough. And just to see you out there doing that kind of gives me a bit of motivation. So I just want to say big props to you, man. And I've kind of seen you kind of progress from the very beginning. So it's been pretty cool.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
So my first kind of question is, what kind of got you into the gym or into bodybuilding? Did you just want to start working out, and what kind of led you to join up with Zach?
Yeah, so back in the day, probably 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
I joined Good Life Rabina. I was actually training with my brother at the time.
Yeah.
He sort of just got me into it because I wanted to join the gym. And in the first 6 months, I pretty much did nothing. I had no idea what I was fucking doing. I was just doing random fucking exercises, pretty much arms every second day. Never legs, all that normal stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. I relate.
But then, after 6 months, I seen Zach at the gym and I was like, fuck, he's the biggest cunt here.
Yeah, literally.
So I sort of, just reached out to him. And then, it just sort of went from there. And then I just started the journey from, 6 months after not doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of restarted again.
Yeah, pretty much. And then he just taught me what to do properly.
Yeah. So what I saw, what I remember, so did he take you straight into kind of a bulking phase? Because I remember you pushed your calories and everything really, really high. I remember him talking about and seeing you're up to close to 6,000 calories and you were put on heaps of just size. So was that kind of the plan from the beginning, just to kind of get you up and then cut you back down?
Yeah, so that was, we did a bulk for continuous for probably 1.5, 2 years. Without any maintenance phase or anything like that. Because I was one of the kids where you were super skinny at the start.
Yeah.
And even if I did put on fat, you couldn't really notice it.
Yeah.
So it just sort of looked like I just got bigger. So fat gain wasn't really the problem. So I started at 78 kilos and then got up to 114 kilos.
Yeah.
In the space of a year and a half, 2 years.
That's a lot of, that's almost 30 kilos.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It was tough. My calories got up to 7K at the peak.
7K, fuck, higher than I thought.
It was rough. I can't even do that now. I don't know how
you did it.
Wanted it so bad that it didn't really matter. I remember staying up at 12 o'clock at night, just trying to get my food in sometimes. Because I was just there was no other option. So I just wanted it that bad. But yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
No, that's good. That's good. I reckon you kind of, think you probably wouldn't have been or kind of got where you are, without that. So you're kind of grateful kind of going through that, even though, you probably can't do it now, but it's probably, helps set that good foundation anyway.
Yeah, 100%. It's just laying that foundation.
Yeah.
And the good habits, learning early instead of later. And that's pretty much what set me up for success, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's really important. That's good. That's good. So that happened for about, so you were saying roughly a year or so, then you cut down. And at this point, was there any talk about getting on stage yet? Or that was still kind of, a far off thing? Or was that a plan from the beginning long-term? When was that kind of, that thought?
Actually, the first initial consultation with Zach, it sounds so funny, but when I was 78 kilos, I'd only been training for 6 months, had no muscle whatsoever. I said to Zach, I was I wanted to do a bodybuilding competition, way down the line. And then he asked what federation I wanted to do. And I had no idea what a federation was. didn't even follow bodybuilding. I was just like,
Yeah.
I want to do it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it sort of just went from there.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So by the time what year? It was just after COVID you competed, hey? It was like the 2021. Was it last year's show that you did?
Yeah, so this was the show I did just now was this year, season A.
Oh, you did season A this year. Okay. So
yeah, but I also prepped for season B 2021, but then
okay.
got cancelled at 6 weeks out.
Yeah.
And then before that was at sort of the end of COVID where it was sort of here, sort of not.
Yeah.
Before that, like when COVID very first started, I think we were planning on doing a show. It was like 30 weeks out, and then
for 4 weeks later,
the lockdown happened. But it's sort of good. I was not ready to compete then. I just sort of wanted it. But yeah, it all happens for a reason. Like I think I prepped probably at a really good time. For me anyway.
Yeah. No, it's something important that my friend's he's doing season B at the moment, and he competed, I think 2019 pre-COVID. And yeah, something that like, I've learned from, watching him do that and stuff is like, how important is, timing. It's something that like we all kind of want to get on stage because, we're always training, always dieting, always doing what we need to do. And, we only get, 2 opportunities a year in Australia, but the timing of it is so important because, you need your finances lined up. You need, the right support around you. One bad thing or one thing not kind of all lined up can, send your prep on a whole like train track.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So talk to me about that prep. So when you did the 2020 prep and it got cancelled, so you're saying you're kind of more thankful about how that kind of ended, and you were going. So was it an immediate? Okay, we're just going to kind of bounce back into and get straight into season A, or did you kind of discuss about, because you're still with Zach at this point? Hey,
I was still with Zach at that point. Yeah. I did my season A prep with him.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So as I was saying, yeah. So when the 2020 got cancelled, was it okay? We're just going to stop, kind of rebuild up a little bit, and then get straight back into another diet phase for the prep, or did you kind of go, maybe we'll do season B? What was kind of the outlook that you kind of had with Zach, and what direction did you want to go in?
Yeah. So initially, like the first thought was we sat on it for about like a week.
Yep.
Maybe 2 weeks, and then we sort of like made a decision from there. But the initial thought was that we were going to do season B just because we didn't know if we wanted to do it again, and then for another show to get cancelled, because at that stage, like, we still didn't know what was going to happen. But yeah, so we sort of, I think I might have set it up for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I ended up telling him, oh, actually, no, sorry, I'm wrong. We were going to prep for season B the following year, and then we built my calories back up a little bit, and then I was sort of just having like sort of a maintenance in like a bulk sort of thing. Like I wasn't pushing calories too high, just sort of enjoying things. And then probably like I started prep at 21 weeks out, so it was a fair decent amount of time, like 10 weeks or something in between, where I had like off. And then I made like a snap decision. I was like, oh fuck, I want to do prep again. But like, yeah, it's funny you say like the whole like you need to get everything in check before you prep. It's so true, but I can also think that like it's like I probably prepped in one of the worst periods of my life. But it actually worked out for the better, because it gave me something to like focus on and sort of actually put all my energy into. So I can see it both ways, but I'm lucky. Like everything else was sorted. It was just like things going on in my life was a little bit hectic. But yeah, like I thought it would work out the way it did, and it did. So
that's good. So Yeah, I can see. So yeah, what you're saying, the mindset that you had with everything going on, the benefit of prepping was that, you know, you had a goal, you had something that you could, you know, chase after and try and reach. And it allowed you to kind of, I guess, maybe not block off everything that was going on around you that was not so good, but it kind of helped you maybe, you know, not fall into a deeper hole that you could have possibly been if you weren't, you know, prepping or anything like that.
Yeah, and it was just to put like my energy into something else.
Yeah.
And I think at the time too, like we weren't, my hunger was like shot. I couldn't eat like a whole lot. I think I was just at like 4,000 calories. For me, that's like pretty much maintenance.
Okay, yep.
And I didn't really want to push them. So I was like, fuck, it's kind of like a good time to do a prep because like at least a cut and sort of get some hunger back.
Yeah. No, that's good. All right, so I just want to switch over to Instagram because I just want to have a look at some of these stage shots and share with anyone that I hadn't seen. Let's go here. All right. Is that popping up for you? You can see a page?
Yeah.
All right, so this is Josh's page. Anyone that's not following him, I definitely recommend following him. Let's just go this stage shot. Now, I reckon you looked really good up here. I really like this, but like we were saying, you are such a tall guy. Like you, you're taller. Like I've had Jaden on the first episode, and he's pretty tall too. Were you taller than Jaden? Because I haven't seen you both.
I'm not too sure.
Roughly
like I'm
the same height.
I'm 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, I thought you were.
So I'm not too sure what Jaden is. He's probably the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, us tall boys have it hard.
No, it looks like you really brought good conditioning. Is there any other shots down here?
There would be some like if you scroll
down. Like that's crazy. I remember you looking like that. I remember you looking like that on the left. That's crazy to see how far you come. Yeah,
that was done by Nelson Azevedo, that photo. Yeah. Such a good photographer.
Giving help to all the skinny boys. So some So what I kind of want to hear your opinion on kind of how you ended up looking. Like, were you happy with the conditioning? Were you happy about the package you brought? Do you think what areas do you think you could have improved on?
I was definitely happy. Like, I said this to myself at the start of the prep, and I kept it the whole way through. Like, no matter what package I brought, I would still be happy with it.
Yeah,
and I was completely happy with the package I brought. But yeah, we could have definitely done a few things better. Like in terms of like sodium and potassium in that peak week. MyFitnessPal doesn't track potassium properly.
Yeah.
And that's where I sort of went wrong. So I was like, I had my potassium and sodium targets. Like specific days I needed to hit like X amount. And
MyFitnessPal wasn't
because
tracking.
It wasn't tracking potassium, it would have been like, and it was tracking sodium properly, but then the potassium, I had it at a certain level where it was technically that, but it was actually way higher.
Okay.
Because it doesn't track it on like certain food items, and it was like a lot of the foods. So I think that's sort of what made me hold on to like a little bit of water.
Yeah.
But I could have definitely been leaner. And you could see that like in my glutes and things like on stage.
Yeah, so like on this stage shot here, like you look really lean in the midsection, even through the chest. But yeah, you can see your legs just look a tad bit softer in comparison to like, let's say even Jaden or Ollie.
Yeah, because even like your, what was I going to say? Like 2 weeks before my show, that was hands down the best I looked.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah.
So I sort of peaked too early without even meaning to peak. So I think, next time, I think I'd probably just come in like a little bit on the flatter side.
Yeah. So then you can peak a bit later.
Yeah. And just like be a little bit more careful in terms of like carbohydrate content.
Yeah. No, you definitely look really good for your first showing. You definitely have the size, but it's kind of like your physique kind of reminds me of like, Jamie the Giant. You're just so tall and you have so much size to put on that frame. Is that something that, so we'll kind of fast forward to kind of now. So we'll just jump back to here. So we'll fast forward. So now so after the show, did you decide, was that Zach, did you and Zach part ways? Did Zach kind of just go, oh, I'm not coaching anymore? How did that kind of go? Because I know obviously he's still, a close friend of yours. And then what kind of led you to work with Joe?
Yeah, so like post show, we had this conversation in prep. Zach sort of wanted me to employ someone like Joe Jeffrey or like someone similar. And I reached out to like John Hewitt and for like coaching, and then he wasn't like available or anything, so I sort of went with Joe. But yeah, Zach was actually the one that prompted me to change coaches.
Okay,
so he was sort of getting out of the whole coaching game. Like at that point he had only like, I think maybe three online clients. It was me, and Jess was in like a WBFF comp prep, and then I think there was someone else. I'm not too sure who it was. So yeah, he was the one that sort of wanted me to sort of like expand my knowledge and go somewhere else for in terms of health too. Like he only knew so much about like supplements and things like that. And once you get to above like 110 kilos, like your body doesn't want to be super, super heavy. So if you're walking around like 130 kilos in the off season, it's doing damage no matter what. Like even if that's muscle, it's definitely doing damage, like your cardiovascular system.
Your body, your organs, like everything.
Like your body just doesn't want to be that heavy. So yeah, that's when I employed Joe, probably, I think I want to say like, I think it was eight weeks post comp. I messaged Joe and then got started. I'm actually not working with Joe at the current minute. I did like a 3-month block with him. And then I'm just doing my own thing at the moment.
And then when you get ready for prep, you go back with Joe, or?
I'd say I'll go back with Joe. He's a fantastic coach.
No, his knowledge is amazing. It's a really great to see what he's doing, especially health-wise and all the, supplementation and everything. He's got a lot of wealth of knowledge. And I know Dean got coached with him. So that was something that I thought maybe because you'd seen Dean with him or anything like that. So, that's a good question. Was your choice, how come the choice was to choose someone, abroad like Joe, where we kind of have someone like, let's say Dean, who was I know he's abroad now, but he was kind of a bit more local before he went away?
So I thought about it in terms of like, so Dean is an amazing coach. Like the lineup he brought in season 8, the one I competed in, like Dean, I think like who else was with him? Like
George
Briggs and George.
A lot of the boys were. A lot of the gold medal.
So many people. Even like Cam George, he looked fucking amazing.
Won the pro card.
He's like under 88, under 80 kilos. He looks like he's like 110 kilos. So like I initially thought about going with Dean and reaching out to him, but then I sort of just went with Dean's coach because I thought like, well, if I'm I sort of want to see what Joe did for Dean.
Exactly.
Go about it that way. That's just the way I thought about it.
You kind of see someone look that you like and how they've come to stage of the presentation they've kind of given. You're like, as much as it could be worth learning from them, you kind of go, well, they had a coach, so maybe we should go with who their coach is, because we're going to be able to bring a similar thing to what they brought. So
exactly. And even looking at like Dean's like business in terms of like Flex to Success, seeing what he's created, it's similar to what Joe has in terms of like Joe_Physique Collective. He has like people working for him. So like that's the goal eventually for me as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I sort of wanted to see what Joe was doing, what he was teaching Dean in terms of like that sort of layout too. But that's sort of everything.
Okay, so now onto that. So when did you start PTing? Like, was it pre-COVID, post-COVID? What made you want to start doing that? And then we'll talk about some of your clients prepping.
Cool. So that was 3 years ago in February, I believe. Yeah, so I was still PTing. Sorry, I started just before COVID, when Zach and like all the boys were still there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's about 3 years in February. But I sort of wanted to get into PT just because I wanted to see what like Zach did for me. I wanted to sort of give that to other people.
Yeah.
Like ideally, the clientele that I had at the beginning is pretty much the same now. I have like a range of different people in terms of like comp prep, gen pop, or just like guys wanting to get bigger, or like female fat loss, whatever it is. I still do it, but I have like my niche, I guess you would call it, of like just getting skinny guys getting bigger.
It's a trademark.
That's what Zach did for me. So I know that's sort of like it pretty much built everything up in terms of like confidence.
Yeah.
Like I was a very shy, skinny kid. Back when I started gym, like I used to be going to the gym fucking at like 10 p.m. just because I didn't want to see anyone there. Like have it alone, so I didn't fuck up the exercise and someone's like watching me or something. It sounds so silly, but like every single person does it.
No, 100%. I think it's like a part of being a beginner in the gym.
Yeah, 100%. So I sort of wanted to give not only like the whole like body composition thing to like a younger kid, but also just sort of like the mindset and mentality of like getting them out of where they are now.
Yeah.
I think I've done that pretty well.
No, that's good. That's good. I think it's a good branding to have as well, a trait. You've experienced something yourself and you want to help others. And I think it's really important. One thing that I've definitely learned throughout the gym and, following others and stuff like that is, how important the, discipline, the confidence and all those traits that come from the gym can, really then transfer into, everyday life. And, I love helping people and, and I think it, PTing is a great way. And I can see how, for yourself, like you're saying, being given that opportunity to then, help someone who was in the situation that you're in and, give them the confidence and help them out, it can be really rewarding.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's definitely a rewarding job. That's for sure.
That's awesome. So with your clients, so you're saying you got a couple of clients at Comp Prep that I've seen, and some of them are their first ever show. So how's that been? Were you kind of nervous getting into that? Or did you feel like you kind of had the experience because you've walked the walk now and, you're getting a bit of information from Joe and everything that Zach taught you? How's that kind of all been?
Yeah, it's been good. Like I wouldn't say nervous. I think people just take a very, I wouldn't say different approach, but they overcomplicate things. When really it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. And you see this like time and time again with like training plans, fucking diet plans, everything. Like people put in the stupidest exercises just because it's like, I guess, fun to do. When like the basics are what gets results. That's something I say to like all my clients is if they look at the plan and be like, oh, this is like very like simple. Basic. It's because it works.
Yeah.
You don't need like 1,000 sets of this to grow X muscle. Like literally just doing a basic plan, repeating it over the course of weeks and months. There's no reason why you wouldn't get results.
Yeah, I agree. It's like don't
you're eating and stuff like that. But
it's like don't reinvent the wheel.
100%. Yeah.
What's one of I'd just love to share for people watching in that what's some of your clients that are prepping for the show, just to give them some spotlight, and if anyone wants to, is anyone competing in the Queensland show?
The Queensland show, no. So I've got one client in a bikini prep at the moment.
Yeah. What's her name?
I haven't really posted too much about her.
She's on your private page, or
she's on private. You won't be able to see, but her name's Grace Walker. And I've got two others up in Sunny Coast. They're prepping for the ICN show, but they're still 30 weeks out. Is this the Lace? Yeah, that's Lace. Yeah. So she's in Sydney. She came down the other week for just for a session, and she had a birthday down here.
Yeah.
So just did like some posing in a training session. This is at Good Life Rabina.
Yeah. Her posing looks good.
Yeah, she definitely needs some work still. But she's got her first show on Sunday in Sydney. So yeah, it'll
This
be
Sunday?
that. Yeah, this Sunday.
Yeah. So she's doing the New South Wales show, hey?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
exciting. That's exciting.
She'll do the nationals in Queensland in 3 weeks, I think.
Is she coming down a bit earlier so you can work closer with her for nationals or?
For nationals,
Yeah.
We're just gonna see how she goes on Sunday and see what like the judges' feedback and stuff like that is.
Kind of go from there.
And go from there, yeah. But I'd say she'll probably come down like 2 days early or something. That
must be nice having clients, willing to even. I know she had a birthday down here, but still, like, she still took the time, and not just focus on the birthday, took the time to come see you one-on-one. It must be such a, rewarding feeling.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It's so good to see.
That's awesome. So last question, I like to just, seeing those state shows at the moment and that, just being interested in asking people their opinion on kind of, who's someone to look out for, even who you think might be, the pro card winner. Any names that you've kind of been keeping eyes on that we can just check out?
I actually don't even really know. Hey, I know like my mate Anthony Novak, he's competing.
Is he?
Yeah.
Anthony Novak, here he is, the man himself.
But you won't find anything on his Instagram page.
Oh, it's all his old stuff.
He hasn't posted the entirety of prep.
Keeping it low key.
Yeah. But yeah, he's going to bring a good package, that's for sure.
Yeah, you reckon it's improved?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. What weight is he doing?
What was that?
What weight is he? Under hundreds, over hundreds?
No, he's like under. He's like 83 kilos or something at the moment.
Oh, yeah, so he'll be under 90s.
He's classic, yeah.
Oh, classic. Okay.
Yeah, so he has to make a weight out, but I think he's already made it.
Yeah. That'll be exciting. All right, that's someone to look at. Well, I didn't know he was competing because I've been following him for a while too, and that's cool to see some of the other boys that have been kind of low key at the moment getting back out there and getting back on stage.
Yeah. I'm not too sure. Like, I keep track of everything, but like not too much. There's so many fucking names in bodybuilding.
Yeah, I know.
It's so hard to keep track. And I'm terrible with names too.
It's a bit hard. Well, thank you so much for joining me, man. It's been a pleasure. It was great talking to you. Love to get you back on sometime when you're, getting ready for your prep and that, and kind of see how things going and how things are different and what it's been like with Joe. And thank you for sharing everything. And I'll leave a link to your Instagram down below, and hopefully more people can come check you out.
Awesome, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a good rest of the day, bro.
See ya.
Yeah.